Yet another Republican at the state level who is, of course, sponsoring legislation to ban drag shows has been busted in drag. A video of Texas State Representative Nate Schatzline emerged this week showing Representative Schatzline dressed in a sequin dress, prancing and frolicking with a couple of his buddies who were also wearing weird costumes. Now, according to Mr. Schatzline, however you say it, honestly, I don't care. The guy's a whatever. So he had this to say when the video emerged this week. "Y'all really going crazy over me wearing a dress as a joke back in school for a theater project. Yeah, that's not a sexually explicit drag show. LOL, y'all will twist anything." It's not a sexually explicit drag show, he says. However, under the legislation that this jackass has proposed in the state of Texas, exactly what he did in that video suddenly becomes illegal. Funny how that works, isn't it, Mr. Schatzline? The legislation, HB 1266, according to NBC News, seeks to amend Texas's Business and Commerce Code to define a venue that hosts a drag performance and authorizes on-premises consumption of alcoholic beverages as a sexually oriented business. Such businesses, according to the state code, may not allow an individual younger than 18 years of age to enter the premises of the business. The measure defines a drag performance as, quote, "a performance in which a performer exhibits a gender identity that is different than the performer's gender assigned at birth, using clothing, makeup, or other physical markers, and sings, lip syncs, dances, or otherwise performs before an audience for entertainment." Which is exactly what Mr. Schatzline was doing in that video. But of course, it doesn't matter to him because that wasn't sexualized, right? But if there's a drag performer and you're drinking a beer, as his legislation talks about, like suddenly that's sexualized, right? Funny how that works. It kind of speaks more to how you feel after you've had a couple beers. Maybe you have some things personally you need to work out with yourself and some realizations that you need to make. Because apparently it's totally cool if you throw on a dress and go frolic around with your friends, but when somebody else does it, it's totally sexualized. You know, I pointed out in a member video yesterday that sexualization is in the eye of the beholder. If you find something sexualized, it's because you see it as a sexualized thing. An example is, a picture of a foot. Most people would see a picture of a foot and say that's a foot. But if you're into that, that's a sexualized picture. Now, does that mean we're going to outlaw pictures of feet? No. But it's the same thing with drag performers. If you look at a drag performance and you think, oh, that is sexualized, that's because you yourself have made that determination. Plenty of people can watch it and think, that's fun. This is fun. I'm watching entertainment. It's all in the eye of the beholder. That's why these people think when we dressed in drag, totally not sexualized. But when other people do it, I just can't help myself but think of sex. Again, speaks more to you and whatever it is you're trying to suppress than it does about the performance. I think a lot of these Republicans really do have issues that they need to come to terms with. I think that's behind a lot of this. I truly, genuinely do. And there's nothing wrong with it. What's wrong with it is trying to suppress it and then impose your problems onto certain groups of people via legislation. That's when it becomes a problem. But that's what we're dealing with. Republican hypocrisy, Republicans suppressing their own feelings and hurting a hell of a lot of people in the process. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.